but some things is not criterion, it's just a mistake about if the foul was outside the box or inside the box. If he whistle a penalty and the foul is outside the box, it's not changing the criterion, it's changing the vision. That is a mistake in that moment. About other things, I think this can be more difficult. I will talk about our last game. For me, it was a penalty against Navas. For the referee, it was not a penalty. I don't think that technology can change this criterion. You understand what I am saying about? I think those cases is very important. Very important.
With that in mind, then, do you think it's up to the referee to refer it to a video decision, or do you think it might be up to a manager like yourself to maybe challenge a decision?
I think that each manager can have a similar as tennis, one play for in each 45 minutes to review, just one. And about important things, about a red card, about a penalty, about a goal. Just one to review it.
And you have no worries that that would affect the flow of the game, or because that's obviously been people's concern.
I think that I repeat it. You don't change the criterion of the referee. If not, it's impossible, because you see in the TV after the game, you have 3 or 4 different opinions about the same play. So that's impossible. But to arrange a mistake, if the foul was inside or outside of he whistle a penalty because the ball hits the hand and he hits the chest, those things, yes. But I think just 1 or 2 by game, no more, because it's impossible to do.
And you said Caballero to continue to play in goal this weekend. Is that the plan for as long as you're in the FA Cup now?
Yes, Willy will play both cups.
And with that in mind as well, then, how much of a challenge is he putting towards Joe Hart for a regular first-team start?
I think for Joe it's very good to work 1 complete week, because we are playing so many games that it's impossible for the players to work. So for Joe as we are going to play next Wednesday immediately against Everton for the Premier, I think that for Joe it's very good to have a complete week to work.
And in terms of the injuries, Mangala, what's the update there? And also, is Wilfred Bony back this weekend?
No, Mangala, not Winfred, Bony. Both of them continue injured.
How long do you think for both?
We'll know now. They are making some MRI, so we'll know maybe tomorrow.
And how's Vincent Kompany progressing?
Vincent is progressing in the same way that the muscle injury must progressing with time, but you cannot try to hurry up him, because he needs days to have a good curve.
Given the injury problems that you've had, Manuel, how do you view the task and the difficulty of competing for all 4 trophies?
I think that one of the most important merits of this squad at the moment is to continue being involved in all the competition, as you say, with so many injuries. I hope that in the future we can have more normal amount of players for each game, because the first part of the season was very difficult. And think how many trophies you can be involved, you will never know, because it depends more also on the performance. So I hope that we continue during January. That's a very key month involved in all the competitions.
You get asked every season, can you win all 4?
Sorry?
You get asked every season, can you win all 4?
No, I repeat what I said, the answer last week. We are going to try to be focused game by game. That is more important.
With that in mind, though, Manuel, has there been any change of heart as regards strengthening during this transfer window, particularly with the injuries that you've had up front, and Wilfred Bony, as you say, is out, and also at centre-half as well?
For the moment, we continue with the same squad.
Do you think it needs strengthening, though? Do you need more options?
No, I repeat, I think I trust a lot, and if the first 4 months of the season we could do it, I think that we can finish also.
And in terms then of the FA Cup, where does that come on the list of priorities in terms of your team selection as well?
I think the priority for my team, also the way I think, is to have the mentality to try to win every game. It doesn't matter which competition you are playing. After that, you will see how many games you can advance in each competition. But I don't think it's important to think which competition are you playing. It's important to try to win every game, because that gives you an ambitious mind, a winning mind, a lot of things that for me are very important for this team.
And finally then, from me, what concerns are there over the away form at the moment, given it's just 2 wins from the last 9?
Well, if we win tomorrow, I will be very happy because in the last 4 games we will win 2 games. I repeat, if we win tomorrow, because we win against Watford, we win against Norwich, we draw against Leicester, and we lost against Everton because we didn't want maybe to take more risk that the results allows because that game is not finished. It's just 90 minutes for 108 minutes. What happened in the past, the other games, is too past. It's important in the future. And the last 4 games, I repeat, if we win tomorrow, I will be very happy.
Do you think then you found a solution, Manuel, to your problems you've had away from home this season?
There are different reasons. Maybe if you remember the first season that I was here, the first 5 or 6 games, I think that we received, I don't remember, 6 or 7 goal or set pieces, and we couldn't win again. Some moments of the team, but the important thing is our mentality, that we continue working and playing exactly the same way that we play away, that we play home. If for different reasons in some moment of the season you don't have the result that you need, but I don't think that must change in the way we work, we play, because we normally have a lot of dominion and more options to score more goals than the other team. If we are conceding, well, we must see how we can improve it.
I appreciate you're not going to add, or at the moment it doesn't look like you're going to add in January, but long term with Sergio Aguero and Wilfred Bony up front being your 2 main strikers, with the number of injuries that those 2 players have suffered over the course of the last 12 months, are you concerned long term about their fitness records?
Well, but you must add also Raheem Sterling that can play in front, and Iheanacho Kelechi, that's a very young player that normally when we don't use young players, you have a lot of criticize why we don't use young players. In this case, we have a good young players that he's trying to take his option. That's why if we bring another more, we must postpone Kelechi. So I repeat, for the moment, it's not in our mind to bring another striker.
Long term, though, do you not have a concern about their injury records, Wilfred Bony and Sergio Aguero?
What do you talk about long term?
Because the 2 of them keep picking up so many injuries.
Well, but I repeat, we have other options.
Okay, that's fine. In terms of Norwich then, do you think you're facing them at the worst possible time this season? They've won 3 of their last 4 matches.
No, I don't think about that. I think that we need to have a good performance. You want to continue the FA Cup. I always say the same answer as I just said. That doesn't depend against whom we are going to play in this stage. It's important to have a good performance as a team and to demonstrate that you can be involved in that competition also.
And on the FA Cup as well, you said earlier on this week that it's a problem because of the number of games that it could bring. Do you view that as a problem now, or do you just mean going forward? Is it something that you're going to try and progress in each competition and then see where it leaves you?
No, it's a problem going forward. If you review the calendar or the program of the games, you start postponing games in the quarterfinal and the semi-final of FA Cup. So you must postpone Premier League games, and those Premier League you must play in some midweek. If you continue Champions League to semi-final, you don't have time to play that game. So that's a problem in the future, but it doesn't matter that we want to continue in that competition, and we are going to try to win tomorrow.
Can I ask you about Jesus Navas as well? He broke a record the other day because he'd not scored for such a long time. What will that goal do for his confidence?
Well, he's not a striker. Jesus knows that he's not a striker. I agree with you that maybe he can score more goals than he did in the last 60 games that I think that he didn't score. But he's always so useful players that give us a lot of different things. If he scores more goals, better. But I think that his task during the game is more than score goals.
Have you spoke to him though about the number of goals that he scores and asked him maybe to score a few more?
Yeah, I always talking with all the players, and all of them want to score more goals.
Okay.
In central defence, Manuel, obviously you've got 2 injuries at the moment, and I know you've mentioned Bakary Sagna a couple of times. Could you consider playing him in central defence for the Norwich game, for example?
Well, I'm not talking about the Norwich game because we'll see tomorrow with the starter 11, but of course Bakary is an option to play as a central back because he did it before in the past. He likes to play in that position also. So it's an important option, especially now that Pablo Zabaleta is recovered from his injury and he will start playing.
Jason Denayer is obviously on a season-long loan. Have the club thought about trying to recall him? Is that even possible?
Well, we are talking different options. I repeat, for the moment, we are keep the same squad that we have in this moment. We'll see during January if we change mind for different reasons, but for the moment, we are not thinking about any option.
Could you, in theory, bring him back, or is that tied in for the whole year?
No, I think that we can bring him back.
And just one more from me. David Silva's turned 30. How big a player has he been for you?
Well, I think that David demonstrated in every game how important player he is. He's a different player. I think he's so technical with so key passes during the game. I think that not only for me or for the Manchester City, I think for the Premier League, it's a gift to see him playing every Sunday for Manchester City. I think the fans always appreciate what he doing during the game. So I hope that he will continue the same form.